Air Canada flight attendants defying a back-to-work order is being called unlawful. That from Canada's Industrial Relations Board. The board is demanding the Canadian Union of Public Employees direct their members back to work by noon Eastern Time. Now, the work stoppage leaves thousands of Air Canada ticket holders struggling to find ways to reach their destinations. The airline says it is planning to get planes back in the air this evening, but it's unclear how that will happen. The flight attendants were ordered back to work Saturday, by the federal jobs minister, and the directive sent both parties to binding arbitration, but the union is challenging the decision, calling it unconstitutional. And just a few moments ago, the Prime Minister was asked about the standoff between Air Canada and its flight attendants.
It is disappointing that those negotiations did not come to an agreement, and it was the judgment of both the union and the company that they were at an impasse. That's not my judgment, it's their judgment. And so we are in a situation where literally hundreds of thousands of Canadians and visitors to our country are being disrupted by this action. I urge both parties to resolve this as quickly as possible.
And there's also an expectation there that we'll hear from the Transport Minister on this potentially soon. Meanwhile, at airports across the country, the confusion and frustration is palpable.
I'm a tourist, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. And for that reason, I'm here to try some solution.
Air Canada is strongly advising travelers not to go to the airport unless they have a flight confirmed with another airline. The airline says it can try to rebook customers on other carriers, but warned capacity is limited due to peak summer travel season. Air Canada is also offering those with cancelled flights a refund or future credit for travel. And the CBC's Jamie Strachan is at Toronto's Pearson International Airport and joins me now live. So, Jamie, what is it like right now at the airport?
Good morning, Arthi. Well, you can look behind me at the Air Canada picket line that's been loud and active here since I got on the ground here at about 6 o'clock this morning. And it doesn't look like a group that's set to be back on the job in 2 hours, as the Industrial Relations Board has ordered that these workers end this unlawful strike by noon. There's no indication that that's going to happen. You really have, a number of competing narratives that kind of all add up to a real sense of uncertainty right now. You have that order by the Industrial Relations Board to get back on the job by noon, after their similar order was defied yesterday. You have a union who's still telling its workers, I spoke to CUPE in the last hour, continue out on the picket lines, continue this job action. And frankly, Arthi, in talking to workers this morning, as I mentioned, I've been here for the last 4 hours. This is a group that appears, in talking to them, to have a lot of resolve. They have a lot of grievances that they've been dealing with Air Canada. They're coming out of a 10-year collective agreement. A lot of things are festering. So there is a sense of resolve. There's also a sense of uncertainty. People are worried about their jobs. But in speaking to flight attendants, it seems for now this is a fight they're willing to engage in. Here's the gentleman who's been in the air for at least about 20 years that I spoke to moments ago.
Personally, as a flight attendant, the only way I'm going back to work was with if CUPE says that something else has been negotiated, and if CUPE gives the go-ahead to go back to work.
And Arthi, as of now, CUPE has not given workers any instruction. Much of their leadership is holed up at a hotel a few kilometers from Pearson Airport. But you can hear and you can see behind me, these picket lines continue. No indication that these workers are set to put down their signs and their megaphones and get back on the job in what would be less than 2 hours. It just doesn't seem plausible at this point.
And Jamie, Air Canada says they plan to resume some of their operations tonight. How does it plan on doing that?
Good question. I mean, it doesn't seem probable, as I've mentioned at this point. You go inside the airport, at the Air Canada desks, it's usually bustling. This is their main hub in Toronto. All you see is a board full of canceled. You see that up and down the board. And you see these picket lines, you see a sense of resolve amongst members. And clearly by defying this order yesterday, by continuing to defy it today, the union, its members, willing to wade into really kind of uncharted waters, for a Canadian union. It's rare that we've seen a union defy an order to go back to work. So is there a way that they get back on the job this afternoon and somehow Air Canada resumes getting planes up in the air this evening? I'm sure there's a quick, roadmap to this, but right now, members, CUPE says that the only way they're getting back on the job is through a resolution at the bargaining table with the employer. At this stage in time, the two sides aren't talking. So how, if Air Canada is able to get flights up in the air this evening, I'm not an aviation expert, but being here on the ground right now over the last 4 hours doesn't seem like a possibility at this point in time.
Thanks for this, Jamie. That is the CBC's Jamie Strachan at Toronto's Pearson Airport. And again, a clarification. The Prime Minister mentioned this morning we will hear more from the Jobs Minister on this. We'll stand by for any more information as it becomes available to us.